Hello, everyone, and welcome back to BitCast. Here again to cover Nintendo news and Apple news and tech news and gaming news. Today we have a decently packed episode, mostly Nintendo news, but we will also be going over the Android Show 2026 because I have some thoughts about it. And I wanted to go over it. And again, even though we really don't talk about other tech, I mean, it's in the intro tech podcast along with all that. So, it fits into the cycle whether we do it a lot or not, anyways. But, some new developments after the price increase and all of that. WW26 is coming up next month, and boy, do I really hope iOS 27 will fix all the bugs because I still keep getting major bugs on iOS 26. I just recently had one where my phone won't silence. If I have it on silent mode, it still will not silence itself when I get a notification. So I got to the point where I would literally also turn on Do Not Disturb with silent mode on, and yet I'd still get the notification and it would still make a noise. And I've also had this on my watch too, so very annoying. I don't know what's causing it. Pretty sure it's iOS 26, but yeah, But anyways, we do have a lot sorry about that. Anyways, we do have a lot to get into today. So let's start out the episode with today's episode theme. That is right. Today we will be going over the new Zelda Amiibo, the new Switch 2 Choose One bundle, the Nintendo president making comments on the Switch 2 price increase, the Zelda movie, live-action Zelda movie date has been moved again, the Android Show 2026, and ending out the episode with a bit of a spicy topic because apparently a man threatened to bomb Nintendo HQ in Japan. All that today on the podcast episode. So let's just jump in with this new Amiibo. So Nintendo randomly posted a trailer on YouTube from showing gameplay of Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment. I really enjoyed this game, and in fact I need to make a review about it because I didn't get to it, and I feel like it's a very underrated game. Anyway, they put this new trailer, and it is to announce a new new Amiibo. It is Minoru's Construct Amiibo, and it will be launching September 17th, 2026. Okay, very cool. Don't know why they just now announced this. I will show it here in a minute. As you can see right here, this is the Amiibo. It looks really cool. This would actually be something I would consider getting. It looks really cool. But so apparently this is Tears of the Kingdom. I don't know why they Okay, Nintendo, why do you have Tears of the Kingdom here and show Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment and in the title have that? Why? Also, Nintendo, how come this announcement cannot be found anywhere in the news tab on your website? That's what makes me so upset, is that Nintendo is so inconsistent when it comes to news lately. They can drop a random trailer announcing something on YouTube, and then it just not be on their website. I think that at all times it should be on their website because you're missing out on some, I'd say, pretty big news. So yeah, but this is the Amiibo, kind of a smaller piece of news, but it does look very cool. I don't know, I might pick it up depending on how much money it is, but who knows. Amiibos lately have been very, very expensive. Alright, moving on, Nintendo has announced a all-new Choose One bundle, as you can see here, for the Nintendo Switch 2. system. And first of all, this is great, and I also think it has to do with Nintendo trying to kind of make up to people before the price increase. All right, so this is from Nintendo's website, audio listeners. Here is your quoted. Nintendo Switch 2 Choose Your Game Bundle launches this summer. Nintendo Switch 2 Choose Your Bundle includes Mario Kart World, or Donkey Kong Bonanza, or Pokemon Pokopia. Starting in early June, participating retailers will offer the Nintendo Switch 2 Choose Your Game Bundle. For suggested retail price of $4.99, so the price of the original Mario Kart World bundle, which includes a Nintendo Switch 2 system and a download code that can be redeemed for a digital version of the select game. The bundle will be available for a limited time at participating retailers and offers a value of up to $20, up to $30, compared to purchasing the system separately. And yeah, so this is great. Just to restate, you will be able to either pick Mario Kart World, Donkey Kong Bonanza, or Pokemon Pokopia. Honestly, I think this is the perfect game lineup for something like this. And guys, the Mario Kart bundle is back. The Mario Kart bundle was the hottest thing back when it came out. It was responsible for Mario Kart World selling so much, and it was a big selling point of the Switch 2 since it was cheaper. And it got discontinued, and people were very sad. But guys, it is coming back this summer. Not only that, they're also doing it with Bonanza, which I think is better. My recommendation is, the basic recommendation is to get Bonanza. But it's one of those things like, what series are you into? I would say if you're new to Nintendo and you're not really, you don't really know what series you want to do, I would choose the Bonanza bundle. But if you're more into more of a competitive esports type of gamer, I would choose the Mario Kart. And then if you're more of a cozy gamer, or if you're into Pokemon, I would suggest the Pokemon Pokopia bundle. But overall, this bundle is very legendary, and I'm really glad Nintendo has decided to do this. As we discussed in our last podcast episode, Nintendo is raising the price of the Nintendo Switch 2, and I think this is kind of making up for it. Now, keep in mind, this is before it happens, and from what we can see here, this bundle probably will be discontinued when the price goes up. But guys, now I can officially say now is by far the best time to get a Switch 2. Even better than when it first came out. Why, you may ask? Well, first of all, the game library has blown up like absolute crazy. We have probably the strongest third-party support ever. We had games like Star Wars Outlaws, Pragmata, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, all amazing AAA games that show what the Switch 2 is capable of, along with tons of other third-party games that, I'm not well-versed in. By far the best thing. We also, even with some of the criticism Nintendo's been getting, we also do have a better first-party lineup. We have Mario Kart World, Donkey Kong Bonanza, Pokemon Pokopia, Mario Tennis Fever. And on the horizon, we have a new Star Fox game, a new Splatoon game coming out, and a new Yoshi game. Yes, that might not be what you want, and it might not be the biggest game, but guys, I don't think we can deny the fact that right now is the best time, and this bundle is just a cherry on top. Because now not only could you get Mario Kart World for cheaper, now you can get Bonanza or Pokopia for cheaper, or around the same price. So I think Nintendo's main goal for doing this was, amid the price increase happening soon, they're really trying to get adoption rates up, and I honestly think this is the perfect way to do it, because, it's a gaming console, you have to have a game, and honestly, I think it would be good if every single gaming console was bundled with a game, permanently. I just think it makes sense because when you're getting a gaming console, you know you're going to want to get a game. No one buys a gaming console and then just doesn't buy a game for it. Especially, like, no one does that. So this is just the perfect way, in my opinion, to get adoption rates up. It would be nice if the game was free. I remember back in the Switch 1 days when they used to do this type of thing and the game was actually free. Now that was a system seller. In fact, my first Nintendo console, which was the Nintendo Switch, was the Mario Day 2023 bundle, and that was another Choose One bundle. And I believe it was Mario Kart 8. It was. I could choose from Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe, or Mario Odyssey. I chose Mario Kart 8, and that was really stellar because it was a special edition console paired with a free game. So I do admit, it would be so great to see the free game bundled in. Now that would really sell the system, but I do understand it with the current pricing madness going on. But hey, you are still getting a discount. So that's very good. All right, moving on to our next piece of news. So, as we talked about before, Nintendo is raising the Switch 2 price by $50 starting in September. And the Nintendo president, Furuwaka, I'm sorry, I'm terrible at pronouncing the name. That sounds like something out of Star Fox, has commented and apologized about this. So this article is from NintendoEverything.com, and as you can see here, quote unquote, speaking during a financial results briefing, Furuwaka said Nintendo will prepare a robust software lineup to enhance the Switch 2 ownership value. We will work diligently to overcome this barrier. So this has been something that a lot of people have been bringing up lately, saying that Nintendo is starting to cook, which I agree with. I'm going to be honest, even though the advertising has been a horrific mess, Nintendo has finally started to turn 2026 around. We have so many new and great games, in my opinion, on the horizon. And a lot of people are suggesting that this means that Nintendo is about to have a big blowout, which honestly, technically this doesn't mean anything. This is kind of just him promising that they will deliver at some point, but I could see it happening, having a really good lineup coming in the future. So, and down here, this is his additional comments as follows. We sincerely apologize to our customers for the considerable inconvenience and trouble this will cause. While we wanted to prioritize a wide adoption, it was challenging to bear the rising costs over a long period. The new pricing does not fully account for all cost increases. Which does make sense because $50 doesn't cut it much because, we've already gone over this. Tariffs, RAM shortages, AI, Strait of Hormuz stuff, gas prices, which affect transit. We are honestly in, I don't know, one of the worst economies that I have been through in my life. I will genuinely say our current economy is as bad as COVID, if not worse. I'm just going to say it. Yes, we don't have the lockdown, but the trading and economy and pricing stuff is worse than COVID. At least where I live, I don't think we saw gas prices this bad. Anyways, not to even get into that doesn't really have, it does have stuff to do with this, but, yeah, that's not good. But he did apologize. And they also did lower the forecast for Switch 2. I also do apologize because I was not, I said the Switch 2 still isn't selling well. It is still selling very well. This information can be very confusing, so take it what you will. But he also said due to Due to efforts to strengthen our supply chain, the first year sales reached an unexpected level. The demand in the second year is firm, and we believe the adoption of the Switch 2 is progressing smoothly. So yeah, he did apologize. I just wanted to kind of cover that. I feel like Nintendo kind of like they're kind of coming out a bit. I am hoping and I'm thinking that they might finally be, maybe starting to listen a bit. I don't know. But yeah. All right. Next up, this is a very, very, very brief news coverage topic here, and that is that the live action Zelda movie has been postponed again. Well, not postponed. The date has been changed. In fact, I think they moved it up. So it's now going to be on April 30th, 2027. I cannot show you an article or anything because Nintendo Today app, and they have it in a different system pipeline that the GPU and CPU can't access on your phone, meaning if you take a screenshot, the OS physically can't see it, and that's why the screenshot's black. But yeah, so that's interesting. But yeah. Alright, guys, it is now time to move on to the Android Show 2026. And I honestly have quite a few, like most of it was good, just right out the bat, but there's some stuff I didn't like, some stuff that iPhone already had, and some stuff that is kind of, and a new Google Book too, which is like the biggest topic is the Google Book, which no one, all right. So this is gonna be a bit harder to show y'all because of I'm pretty sure I'd get copyrighted if I showed you the video, so I'm gonna have to show you a article, which for some reason the Safari reader isn't working, so I am trying to get rid of all the advertisements because sometimes there'll be like advertisements for your location. Google, how do you know that? I talk about privacy concerns. I don't no. Oh my goodness, there's so many ads. Okay. I'm pretty sure they just keep loading in. Honestly. Yeah, why can't the reader just work? It was working earlier, but now it's not working. Alright, so I'm just gonna zoom in. Alright, so let's dive into the Android Show 2026. So basically they announced the major things that they announced here is Gemini Intelligence, the new Google Book, new Android auto updates, and immersive navigation. So this is all part of Android 17, and I'm going to go over everything because I took down notes as I was watching it. So even though some of this isn't here, I do have basically everything. So according to Tom's Guide, Gemini Intelligence, this isn't just a rebrand or an app to access AI. It's becoming the intelligent layer running underneath. Okay, hear me out. All of the press coverage I have seen feels like they are being paid by Google to say this. Google gave them this quote to say, because it doesn't seem genuine to me. I'm just gonna put that out there. So I'm a bit iffy about that. So Gemini Intelligence is basically just new Gemini features, and they renamed it. Unbeknownst to that, what he just said, that's literally what it is. So let's go over some of the new features. Let me see if okay, yeah, I can't really find that good of a thing on that, but look, I have this. We're just going to talk about it. It's a podcast. So the first new feature they showed off is the agenticness of it. So basically, in one of the demos, this guy was on a street, okay, and he sees this poster for a concert. So he takes a picture and he texts his friend. He's like, "Hey, honey, this looks really fun. You want to go?" And then Gemini pops up a little bubble. It's like, "Hey, do you want me to book tickets for this?" He clicks it. It does everything for him without any information. So basically, the biggest marketing push here is that Gemini can do stuff in the background for you. You can tell it to do this, and you can like see it go to Domino's and order you a large pizza. Don't give it. Correct me if I'm wrong, but hasn't Google promised something like this many times before? I feel like in I/O or something last year. I don't know. Anyways, I hate this. I hate that part of it. It's one of those things where it is technically cool. It is really cool and really advanced technology, but it's taking away control, and I don't I want to do it myself. I don't want AI to do it for me, okay? Beyond the fact that you're trusting AI, the AI that told people to eat 2 rocks a day and that cannot tell time properly, you're trusting that AI to order your tickets, use your personal bank account information, your personal identity to put into their website. And you're trusting it to do all this properly. What if it gets the wrong date? What if it gets the wrong... What if it puts you in the worst seats ever? What if it doesn't get enough seats? Or what if it finds the most expensive... Now, in that demo, it's not going to look like that. It's probably going to ask for more context. But still, in that case, you're trusting it to find the right date, find the right seats, find your right information. You're trusting it with your bank account information. You're trusting it to put everything in the correct fields and book all of it and give you your tickets. You're trusting it to do all that. What if you get there and it messed everything up? No. I'm sorry, but no. No. And another thing, this is something I've been seeing online. People are genuinely concerned about privacy. Google is known for being very bad when it comes to user data privacy. They collect information so much about you, like the fact that they can tell my location to serve me ads. That shows you how much personal information they collect about you. And now that their AI is going to have access to literally everything on your phone, it is going to be horrendous. It is going to know all your information. And I mean, it's not like it's going to be like showing everyone your information, but you all know they're going to be collecting information. I hope they put safeguards. I mean, I wouldn't be too concerned, but still, privacy, I can definitely see why privacy would definitely be a big concern for something like this. Beyond the fact that I don't like this type of AI use case, and beyond the fact it's more AI. AI fatigue, that's what I've been saying. Alright, another feature is called Rambler, and it is a upgrade to dictation. So basically, it will get rid of if you say or if you're or basically if you have a big tongue twister in the middle of your dictation, it will clean it up. Basically rewrite. Now, I am a bit mixed on this because on one hand this is really good because I'm really bad at spelling, and this would be something really cool if it's on device. But what I'm not sure of, and what they didn't clarify, is it just cleaning it up, removing a mess up or an or something like that, or adding special punctuation, or is it literally rewriting and rearranging your sentence? That is kind of what they portrayed it as, and honestly, if that's what it is, I'm not a fan. I'm all for it cutting out mess ups. Even if it's a whole entire sentence that I mess up, I'm fine with it cutting it out or shortening it or removing or whatever. But if if it is replacing it with something new that's similar or rearranging, then I'm not fine with that, because that is not what you said. An AI is basically texting you. So that I am not okay with that. And I hope it's on device. Another new thing they're calling generative UI, which is the worst name ever because it's you. Anyways, the main new feature is that you can use AI to make your widgets. This actually looks really cool if it works well. From what I know, it codes it. If it just generated like an AI image, no. But from what this looks like, it looks really cool. My only fear is that is it going to do it properly? Like, because it's going to have to link different things. Like, if you want a widget to show you your upcoming calendar event tied to your Uber ride or whatever, it's going to have to pull that information from your phone. So I'm just a bit concerned on will it do it properly, and basically, will the widget be broken? Like, it might look good, but will it actually have function to it? That's my main concern. They also did update the UI for Gemini. I actually think it looks really cool. That's interesting. And all of this new stuff will only be on the S26 Ultra and Pixel 10 Pro starting out, and doesn't look like it's coming down to anything else. They also announced Gemini and Chrome. Okay. Another part of Gemini Intelligence, kind of sounds like they're trying to rival Apple Intelligence. I don't know why, but anyways, is a new AI autofill. So basically, it's just supposed to add a new layer onto it so it can like dig through your every single file on your phone to find any piece of information, like if you have a passport. Again, personal information and security and privacy risks here. Also, I don't see this working well most of the time. Like, what if you have multiple passwords? I heard that brought up. Or what if it doesn't read the text? I don't know. This sounds cool. It is a bit of a privacy concern. And this is honestly all this AI stuff is if it works right, because let's face it, most of these demos were probably not real. Let's face it. But yeah. Also, talking about some more expression or camera features, I just want to say something. So basically they were talking about, I believe it was quick share expansion, and this really flirty woman was like, no, if you're like me, I am the assigned photographer for our group, and I use my Android phone, and that's because Android phones consistently have the best cameras. I just want to say that's not true. Well, it's technically true, but you're talking about thousands of phones. You're talking about the iPhone. You're talking about the big Chinese silicon carbon battery phones that you can't get in the US. The two main flagship phones in the US is the S26 Ultra and iPhone 17 Pro Max. And if you do a camera comparison, they're very comparable. And they both have their strengths over each other. So I just had to, that got me a bit stirred up. Anyways, they are finally bringing better optimization and HDR stabilization support to Instagram. Finally, it is about time. Apple has had this for years, maybe even from the beginning, actually. And this has been one of the biggest things about Android. They have been horribly optimized for social media. Then again, they have promises, specifically Samsung has promised this forever now, and it still looks awful. But hey, it is about time. Okay? But it's a good thing. It's a good thing. You can now also use AI to enhance old photos. I absolutely hate this. The demo made the photo look worse. MKBHD actually recently published a video about how all this processing is making your photos look worse. 100% agree. Basically, it took a decently looking photo and made it over processed and made it look like it was had 200 filters on it. There's also new screen reactions, which basically lets you put your face over your screen as you screen record. Hey, you know what? that's a really good feature. That'd be something I wouldn't really use, but it'd be really cool. They also redesigned their emojis, and I think we can all agree they look like iOS. Go look it up, and yeah, they look a lot more like iOS. I really like them because I always did not like the Android emojis, and most people didn't like them either. So I really like them, but it's like it's one of those things where it's kind of like copying, but not necessarily, because they are still quite different. But I do really like them a lot more. There's a lot more depth. There is also something called pause point, which basically, if you, like, let's say you mark YouTube as distracting. When you open it, it will recommend something more productive than scroll for 1 hour to do, like, breathe in, do a workout. It'll show you how much time you spend on the app, and after that, you can choose if you really want to go into the app. This is actually really cool. I think it's less invasive. Then again, I don't know, like, how much it would stop people or even me from doing it. I don't know. I don't know, but it looks okay. They're also announced that more devices will support Quick Share and AirDrop, which is interestingly okay. There's also a new Android Auto with kind of a newer design, more customization. You can add new widgets, new color schemes, new animations and fonts. You can now also watch YouTube when you're parked, and it also has some Gemini intelligent features. Good for you, or whatever. That's really good. All right. It is now time for the elephant in the room, and that is the all-new Google Book. So the Google Book is quote-unquote a new laptop category. And this is basically the Illumina OS we've been waiting for. It's Android and Chrome OS merged together. But honestly, I'm kind of worried because I was really excited to see what's in store. This is an extremely early look, so all this may not even actually happen. But this is the product they're showing. We're not sure if Google made this because they announced that they'll be partnering with Acer, Asus, Dell, HP, and Lenovo to make the first Google Books. And apparently they will be built with premium craftsmanship materials coming in a variety and shapes and sizes. And the main thing is that each will have a glow bar making a Google Book. And that is like, oh my goodness gracious, that is this thing right here. You know what? It looks really cool. I actually really like that. But so they showed the desktop interface, and I'm not even sure if it will if there's a picture of that in here. There's not a picture of that in here. Let me see if I can find one. But basically, the main thing they showed off is the new Gemini intelligence features. And I am kind of concerned about these new features. So I'm sorry that I'm kind of stuttering. I'm trying to find here. Alrighty. So this is like kind of what it looks like. I just had to find like a little snapshot. So this is Gemini intelligence. That's not what I was like. So it looks like Chrome OS, basically, maybe an Android merge. You have your dock. I believe you can put stuff on the desktop. Now, the main thing they talked about is, like I said, Gemini intelligence and the new magic pointer. So basically what this is when you wiggle the cursor, it activates Gemini. So this is from Mac Rumors. Gemini can then provide contextual suggestions and answers based on whatever the user is pointing at on the screen. Pointing at a date in a email, sets up a meeting, and selecting 2 minute images allows them to be visualized together, aka wasting RAM to make a stupid AI image that I hate. And yeah. So I mean, it's kind of cool they're doing something new, but I'm not too sure about this because, first of all, like, if this is on device, by the way, the contextual stuff sounds cool, like answering your email, which I still wouldn't use it. But the image stuff, I hate. No. But honestly, this is not something that would sell me. This is not something that'd get me switched from my Mac. They also shut off Create My Widget too, and that's about it. But oh yeah, and they also did show that it has better integration with Android, so you can open Android apps, kind of basically Apple's iPhone mirroring, and basically it's more continuity type of stuff too. So other than that, that's basically all they showed. But my main concern is that in the little parts that they showed, the OS looked so simple, almost like a baby version. You know, like those little toddler vacuums that don't do anything, they're just made to kind of make it feel like you're doing something. That is kind of like my example with how the operating system looks. Now, it doesn't look bad. I'm not the most fan of the design. What I'm hoping, my main question is, along with that, is how utilitarian will this be? Because Chrome OS was so bad because it was just a netbook and it had no utility to it at all because you couldn't do anything. And it looks like they've improved upon that, but I'm still worried that it will not be good enough compared to Mac or Windows. Which is really annoying because it kind of defeats the purpose of this new Google book, which, let's not even talk about the name. It's not the best name. I mean, it's okay. I'm really just hoping first of all, this is so early, so it probably won't even look like this, but I'm just hoping that maybe they just polished the operating system well and a lot of the functionality is hidden in menus, sort of like Mac where you had the menu bar where like all the utilitarian stuff is while looking polished, but it looks even more simplistic than Mac ever did. So that's my main thing I'm worried about. I'm cautionedly, that's not even a word, interested basically. I'm not really hyped as I kind of wanted to be, but I'm kind of just watching from the sidelines, kind of like, I'm not sure where this is gonna go, but we'll have to see. So yes, that is the Android Show 2026. Overall, a lot of the features are cool, and then a lot of the AI features I don't like. So, yeah, and to end out today's episode with a bit of an interesting topic. Apparently, according to a KTV News via automation, which is translator, quote unquote, a 27-year-old unemployed Japanese man has been arrested this week by local police on suspicion of sending letters to blow up the company's main office. He allegedly sent messages such as, "I'm going to blow you all up," and "my plans cannot be thwarted." He also supposedly claimed that he had already planted multiple bombs on the company's ground. Nintendo reported the messages to authorities in March, and it led to police searching the area, but nothing was apparently found. Okay, dude. You know, it makes me really mad when we don't get a Nintendo Direct, but just because we don't get Nintendo Direct, you don't have to go bombing Nintendo. Please don't do that, because if you bomb them, how are they going to make a Nintendo Direct if you bomb the company? This is crazy. This is one of those stories that sounds so weird, and that's kind of why I wanted to use it to end it, but I'm like, come on now. For the most part, it looks like he was just taunting them from what I've seen, which is good because I don't want Nintendo to be bombed because I still want them to make games. I'm still waiting for Metroid 6. But yeah, that is our interesting story to end off today's episode. Anyways, guys, thanks for tuning in. And by the way, no weekend video this week. I already had 3 videos this week. Make sure you go check them out. But I will be back next week for something very exciting. See you then.